Chosen one, this moment is not random. You are not here by accident. You've been divinely positioned, drawn to this message by perfect spiritual timing. Heaven has orchestrated your steps to bring you to the threshold of a supernatural shift, a divine wealth transfer, a season where what once seemed delayed is about to be released into your hands. There is a holy weight in the atmosphere right now. It's the silence that comes before divine acceleration, the stillness before the wind of breakthrough rushes in. Chosen one, your name has been spoken in heavenly places. The same doors that once refused to open are about to swing wide, not by your striving, but by divine appointment. Just as Isaiah declared, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." The resistance that once held you back is being dismantled in this very hour. This is not a season to shrink back. It is your Kairos moment, your appointed time. The supernatural is aligning with the natural. What others call coincidence, you will recognize as confirmation. So take a breath, chosen one. Anchor your spirit. You're standing on sacred ground. This is where heaven meets your destiny. Chosen one. Before a single word leaves your lips, the atmosphere already knows you've entered. Heaven has marked your presence, and the natural world responds in quiet awe. You've felt it, those moments when a room subtly changes the second you walk in. Conversations slow, eyes turn, hearts stir. That's not imagination, that's alignment colliding with human perception. For so long, the world tried to convince you that your quietness meant weakness. They underestimated your silence, not realizing that your silence was the language of heaven. When you step into a space, you don't echo the energy around you, you set it. You are not the background noise, you are the frequency heaven releases to disrupt what's fake and awaken what's real. I've seen this in my own life. There were seasons where I entered boardrooms, family gatherings, even crowded streets, and something unexplainable happened. The air would feel heavier, almost electric. People who once spoke over me grew cautious. Their confidence cracked, their words slowed. I didn't raise my voice, but heaven had already spoken through my presence. And I know many of you watching have experienced the same thing. You've wondered why people react so strongly when all you did was show up. Here's the truth. You are heaven's audit in human form. Your presence exposes what people try to hide. It shakes loose their insecurities, unhealed wounds, and quiet envies. Some will cling to you because being near you makes them feel seen. Others will turn against you because your light exposes what they've buried. But either way, they cannot forget you. Your presence lingers like a spiritual fingerprint on their soul. And yes, it can be lonely. When you carry divine weight, people either rise with you or retreat from you. But don't misinterpret their reactions as rejection, it's revelation. You reveal where they stand. That's why mockery often follows your silence. That's why jealousy hides behind smiles. Because you don't perform for validation. You simply are, and that alone disarms pretenders. Chosen one, this is why they must be careful with you. Being near you is not casual, it's a spiritual test. Those who handle your presence with honor unlock blessings they didn't even know were waiting for them. But those who treat you lightly invite a divine response they can't control. This isn't pride, this is spiritual law. Rare presence demands reverence. You weren't designed to blend in. You were crafted to realign atmospheres. You are the silence after the storm, the undeniable evidence that chaos never wins against divine order. You may have tried to shrink, to be normal, to avoid the attention your spirit naturally draws. But heaven didn't anoint you to fade. You are the background that every temporary storm must yield to. I know what it's like to want peace when your presence feels like a spotlight. I remember nights asking God, why can't I just blend in? And he whispered back, because storms don't blend in with clear skies, they change them. That's what you are, chosen one, a divine shift, a walking verdict. So let the whispers happen. Let the uneasy glances continue. Let them adjust their tone and posture without even knowing why. That's heaven announcing through you. And when they mishandle it, understand this. It's not your loss, it's theirs. Being in your presence is not an entitlement, it's a privilege. And every soul that forgets that will learn it in time. Chosen one, your very existence unsettles those who build their lives on illusions. You are the living receipt of what cannot be broken. While others rely on titles, trends, or temporary applause to prove their worth, you walk as undeniable proof that real power is forged in pressure, not performance. Let's be honest, your journey has not been easy. You weren't handed favor wrapped in gold paper. You were tested in silence. You were shaped in seasons where nobody was watching, when doors slammed and prayers echoed unanswered. You were the one still standing after the storm, while others were looking for shelter. That's why your presence shakes pretenders. Because you don't talk resilience, you are resilience. Imagine a house built on sand, untouched, because no storm has tested it. Then imagine a hurricane arriving. In seconds, everything collapses. That's your enemies. They built comfort on shallow ground. But you were built on stone. Storms didn't break you, they built you. That's why some look at you with admiration, while others glare with silent envy, because you survived what they couldn't, and your survival unmasks their shortcuts. I've seen this in my own life. There were seasons when people whispered behind my back, doubting quietly. But when the winds came, their noise faded. Doors that should have stayed closed opened. Favor arrived without permission slips, and those who mocked, they had to sit in the audience and watch God's hand confirm what they denied. Chosen one, that same undeniable confirmation is resting on you. You are not supposed to fit in their world of pretense. Your authenticity threatens their false power structures. They can imitate your style, copy your words, mimic your movements, but they can't carry your weight. You're the diamond, they're the glass. You've been refined through unbearable pressure. They've been polished only for display. And this is why they often compete with you, even when you're not competing. Your quiet progress convicts their loud performance. Your peace irritates their striving. Your endurance makes their excuses tremble. You don't need to prove who you are. Your scars already do. Every healed wound is a testimony. Every season you endured without applause is a crown resting on your spirit. Chosen one, never downplay this truth. Your survival is not accidental, it's your crown. People stare not because you demand attention, but because your light cannot be dimmed. The ones who tried to bury you didn't realize they were planting a seed that heaven had already watered. What they meant to crush you became the soil for your rise. You are dangerous to lies not because you threaten, but because your existence itself dismantles deception. You are the contradiction the world can't explain. You were sent to prove that power cannot be bought, faked, or borrowed. It's carved in silence. It's sharpened in fire. It's carried by those who've walked through darkness and emerged with light still burning. And here's the prophetic truth. Your rise is not a surprise to heaven. It was written before the storms ever formed. This is why from this moment forward, those who try to come against you are stepping into battles they've already lost. Not because of you alone, but because you walk in alignment with something greater. Chosen one, breathe this in. You are proof that divine power doesn't need a stage to be validated. It simply manifests. You don't have to convince anyone. You are the evidence. Chosen one, hear this with your spirit. Access to you was never random. It was never casual. It was always assigned. Heaven does not hand out your presence like party favors. The universe positions you with divine precision, aligning people, places, and moments for purpose, not popularity. That's why not everyone who gets close stays close. Your presence is a test. Some pass and are elevated, others mishandle it and expose their own character. You're not cold, you're careful. And that carefulness unsettles people who are used to easy access. They want to label you distant when, in reality, you're simply disciplined. You've lived through the pain of letting the wrong ones too close. You know what happens when someone treats the sacred like it's ordinary. Think about it. How many people entered your life, not to love, but to feed? They came to drink from your peace, bask in your clarity, stand in your light. But the moment that light revealed their shadows, they panicked. Proximity to you is a mirror. It doesn't flatter, it reveals. And that's why so many fumble when they sit at your table. I've walked this road. There were moments when I gave access out of kindness, not alignment. And every time, it cost me peace. I realized not everyone with a smile has the capacity to honor what's rare. Some people confuse access with ownership. They think knowing you means they control you. But chosen one, your presence is not a prize for ego. It's an invitation to rise. Imagine placing a priceless artifact into someone's hands. They could honor it, study it, guard it, or toss it aside like it's nothing. That's what happens when people mishandle you. The consequences follow them like unpaid debt, because losing access to you isn't just losing a person, it's losing alignment, it's losing clarity, it's losing the mirror that forces them to face themselves. You've reached the place where you don't explain your worth anymore. Your energy speaks louder than any defense you could give. The right ones recognize you immediately. They adjust their posture, they align their spirit, but the wrong ones they lose. And even if they'll never say it out loud, they know the moment they lost access to you, something sacred left with you. Chosen one, your presence is not just emotional comfort, it's spiritual covering. When people mishandle that, their lives echo the consequences. Opportunities dry up, peace turns to static. Doors that once swung open begin to close, not because you cursed them, but because mishandling divine access always carries a cost. This is why you no longer chase, you no longer beg to be understood. You've learned to let silence speak. You understand that access to you is not a right to be assumed, it's permission that must be honored. And when it's not, heaven itself adjusts the alignment. Chosen one, this is part of your supernatural elevation. Heaven is filtering your circle. It's not rejection, it's protection. God is making sure that only those who can carry the weight of your anointing can stand next to you in the next season. Your presence is not a casual space, it's a divine appointment. Chosen one, listen closely. Your silence has always been louder than their noise. You were never created to prove yourself through shouting, arguing, or begging to be understood. Heaven gave you a frequency that shifts atmospheres without a single word. When you walk into a room, the air changes, conversations stumble, eyes shift, spirits react. That is not your imagination, it's divine weight announcing itself before your mouth even opens. Two people can enter the same space. One flaunts credentials, flashes status, and demands attention. The other, you simply walk in. Yet the atmosphere bends around your aura. Why? Because real power doesn't audition. It doesn't perform. It simply exists. You carry an alignment that can't be faked, and people feel it even when they don't understand it. I've seen this in my own journey. There were seasons where I thought my quietness made me invisible. I misunderstood my stillness as weakness. But over time, I realized the reason people shifted nervously around me wasn't because I was too much. It was because my silence was holding up a mirror. In my stillness, masks slipped, performances cracked, and the truth stood exposed. Enemies thrive in noise because noise hides what's fragile. But when your presence enters still, grounded, certain, it exposes everything they built on illusion. That's why some grow defensive without cause. That's why others suddenly fall quiet. Your silence speaks to what their souls have been running from. Chosen one, never passive, it's a weapon forged in alignment. While others fight to be heard, your frequency commands attention naturally. You don't chase spotlights because you are the light. And in a world addicted to performance, that light makes pretenders uncomfortable. Some will fear it, some will worship it, but none will ignore it. That's the spiritual reality of your presence. The insecure may call you intimidating, but what they really feel is exposure. They can't control you, can't predict you, can't manipulate your energy, and that unnerves them. I remember moments where people tried to draw me into petty battles, hoping I'd explain myself or lower my tone to make them comfortable. But heaven taught me, silence dismantles what ego build. When you stay still, their own actions testify against them. When you stay silent, their lies unravel without your involvement. Chosen one, your silence carries prophetic weight. It's the sound of someone who no longer needs validation because they walk in divine backing. It breaks atmospheres, shakes insecurities, and divides truth from pretense. This is why you must guard your silence like a sacred tool. Not everyone deserves a response. Not every attack requires defense. Your presence already speaks. So, when people misread your quietness, don't shrink, don't explain. Stand firm in what heaven built inside you, because your silence is not weakness, it's strategy, it's alignment. It's a spiritual force that shakes rooms, reveals hearts, and breaks false power structures without lifting a finger. Chosen one, in this new season, your silence will open doors that arguments could never unlock. It will convict enemies, comfort the righteous, and confirm what heaven already stamped on your life. Speak when heaven instructs, but never underestimate the thunder inside your quiet. Chosen one, let's clear something up right now. You are not intimidating. What they feel in your presence isn't fear of you. It's fear of the truth you carry, the light you emit, and the certainty you walk in. People use the word intimidating when their masks start slipping and they don't have the language to describe what's happening inside them. You're not unpredictable, you're not aggressive, you're simply not controllable. And what people can't control, they label. That label is their defense, not your identity. Imagine a stage full of actors, each wearing costumes and reciting lines. Then suddenly, someone walks in with no script, no mask, no performance, just raw truth. That's you. Your authenticity unsettles the entire production. It shakes the illusions they've built their identities upon. I've lived this. I remember being in spaces where I said very little, but my stillness made others uneasy. They would project their insecurities onto me, calling me distant, hard to read, or too intense. But heaven revealed to me, it wasn't about me. My presence was forcing them to confront the parts of themselves they'd spent years hiding. Your presence, chosen one, does the same. You don't shrink for comfort. You don't water yourself down to soothe fragile egos. You walk in certainty, and certainty terrifies insecurity. While others rely on applause to breathe, you breathe alignment. You don't need approval to exist. That's why those who build their lives on external validation feel uneasy next to someone who doesn't need it. Chosen one, your confidence is not arrogance, it's clarity. It's what happens when someone has walked through storms, been misunderstood, betrayed, overlooked, and still stands in divine assignment. You don't posture because you don't need to, and that unshakable posture is what rattles people who rely on facades. They will call you intimidating because your authenticity exposes their performance. They'll label your discernment as judgmental because it sees through what they want to hide. But don't take those labels personally. They're not describing you, they're confessing their discomfort with the truth. This is why heaven urges you, stop dimming your light to make the insecure feel safe. Stop apologizing for being clear. You were not created to blend in with illusions. You were sent to reveal them. When people encounter someone who refuses to flinch, It destabilizes everything fake. Your presence brings alignment or agitation. There is no middle ground. Think about it. When Jesus walked into religious spaces, people either followed him or plotted against him, not because he was loud, but because he was true. Truth unmasks, truth shakes, truth divides. And that's what you carry. Your posture isn't meant to intimidate, it's meant to reveal, and those who are ready will draw near with reverence, not resistance. Those who aren't will project their fear. Either way, it's not your assignment to soften the truth heaven placed in you. Chosen one, your presence is a verdict. It exposes lies without debate. It shifts rooms without speeches. You don't walk with intimidation, you walk with spiritual authority. And authority doesn't explain itself, it stands. So, the next time they call you too much, intense, or hard to handle, remember this: their discomfort is their mirror. You are not the problem, you are the evidence. You're the reminder that truth still walks among performance, that alignment still exists in a world addicted to applause. Let them label you. Heaven has already named you, and that name carries weight they can't define. Chosen one, there's something inside you that didn't start with you, and it won't end with you either. Your spirit carries divine codes, ancient frequencies, and generational keys that your bloodline reached for but could never unlock. You are the living answer to prayers whispered generations ago. Imagine a vault, sealed shut for centuries. Many tried to force it open with their own strength, but the lock refused. Then you arrive not with tools, but with the key pulsing in your very DNA. That's your presence. That's why people can't always explain the pull they feel around you. Your life is a signal. Your existence is a key turning in doors that were once impossible to open. This is why some stare at you in awe, and others project jealousy, fear, or confusion. Your very existence whispers, this is what evolution looks like. You carry what their bloodline couldn't build, what their efforts couldn't sustain, what their prayers couldn't manifest. And it's not because you're better, it's because you were sent. I've experienced this firsthand. There were moments in my life where opportunities opened that my parents only dreamed about. Blessings flowed in ways that didn't make sense logically. And the Holy Spirit whispered to me, you're walking in answered prayers they never saw fulfilled. That's you too, chosen one. You are the vessel. Heaven chose to break cycles and rewrite narratives. People sense it, even if they don't understand it. On one hand, they admire you. On the other, they can't help but feel the sting of comparison. Your existence becomes a mirror, showing them what could have been if they had aligned, if they had endured, if they had believed. It's not pride, it's divine reflection, and that reflection cuts deep. Why do your words shake souls? Why does your silence feel heavier than someone else's speech? Because what flows through you isn't just learned, it's inherited on a soul level and refined through fire. Every scar, every lonely night, every hidden season sharpened the gift you carry. You don't just speak knowledge, you release frequencies that shift atmospheres. Chosen one, your presence carries centuries inside it. You are breaking generational curses in moments that seem ordinary to others. Your conversations carry weight because you're not just talking, you're rewriting spiritual codes. And this is why some people envy you without understanding why. They're not threatened because you're arrogant. They're threatened because you embody what their line never could. You are the unlocked code, the living blueprint of destiny fulfilled. Heaven entrusted you with a legacy that requires both power and humility. You didn't study this in books. You lived it through tears, silence, surrender, and obedience. And because of that, your life now carries the fragrance of divine inheritance. This is why heaven warns, not everyone will handle your presence correctly. Standing near you isn't casual. It's standing before everything they couldn't become. That's why some will draw near to learn, and others will draw near to compete. But no matter their response, your assignment doesn't change. You carry the blueprint. Chosen one, do not underestimate the weight you carry. You are the hinge upon which generations swing. You're not just representing yourself. You're representing every ancestor who prayed in silence, every dream that died waiting for someone like you to rise. And now, heaven has positioned you to walk in what they could only imagine. This is why your journey has been so intense. This is why the warfare was personal. You were carrying more than your own destiny. You were carrying theirs. And now, as you step into this divine moment, understand this. Your presence is prophecy fulfilled. You are the living evidence that destiny doesn't repeat, it evolves. Walk with reverence, speak with authority, move with humility, because chosen one, you are the blueprint their bloodline could never touch. Chosen one, listen closely. This is one of the most sobering truths of your calling. Mishandling you is never without consequence. Every person who crosses your path steps into a divine appointment, whether they realize it or not. Your presence is not casual, it carries weight, alignment, and heavenly backing. And how people treat you determines whether they walk into blessings or collide with repercussions they never saw coming. Some thought losing you was the punishment, but losing you was merely the warning. The real cost comes later when the access they mishandled begins to echo through their lives like unpaid debt. You are not just a friend, a partner, a co-worker. You are a divine assignment in human form. When heaven places someone in your atmosphere, it's never random. It's a test. I've seen this play out more times than I can count. People who honored my presence with sincerity experienced sudden breakthroughs, unexpected doors opening, peace settling over their lives. Not because I was the source, but because alignment with what heaven sends always brings blessing. On the other hand, those who lied, manipulated, or disrespected that sacred space, it was only a matter of time before their own patterns caught up with them. The shift is always quiet at first, then it roars. Chosen one, your presence is either medicine or exposure. For some, you are the mirror that shows them their higher self, their potential, their calling. For others, you're the light that exposes the rot they worked hard to hide. There's no neutral ground around you. That's why people's reactions to you are so extreme. Some cling to you like a lifeline, others grow hostile without reason. But it's not really about you, it's about what you carry. Think of it like being handed the keys to a rare, priceless car. They could drive carefully and be taken further than they ever dreamed, or they could crash it through recklessness, arrogance, or ignorance. When that happens, they don't get to blame the car. The wreckage is their own doing, and in the same way, those who mishandle you eventually face the consequences of how they treated what heaven entrusted to them. This is not about revenge, this is spiritual law. What they sow in their response to you, they reap in the atmosphere of their own lives. Some of the very people who disrespected your presence are now walking through closed doors that used to swing wide. Opportunities they assumed were permanent have dried up. Peace they took for granted has lifted, not because you cursed them, but because they mishandled a blessing. You are not here to chase closure, chosen one. You are not here to explain yourself to those who refuse to recognize sacredness when it stands before them. You are here to be, to walk in alignment, to carry the assignment, and to let heaven handle the scales. The universe does not forget, God does not miss. Every interaction with you leaves a mark for blessing or for lesson. I remember a time when someone close to me treated my loyalty like it was disposable. At first, I questioned myself, wondering if I was overreacting. But months later, everything they tried to build crumbled from the inside out. And in that moment, God reminded me, when they mishandled you, they mishandled what I sent. Chosen one, this is why your boundaries matter. This is why your silence is powerful. You don't need to warn people of the consequences. Life will do that for you. Your job is to stay aligned, to keep walking in the authority you've been given, and to remember that being connected to you is never meaningless. It's always one of two things, a blessing or a lesson. Some will rise because they honored your presence. Others will unravel because they didn't. And both outcomes will testify to the same truth. Proximity to the chosen is never neutral. So, stand firm. You don't have to explain why you pulled back. You don't have to justify why you let go. Heaven saw everything, and those who mishandled you, the bill always comes due. Chosen one, let this sink deep into your spirit. You were never meant to chase light. You are the light. You don't compete. You don't perform for validation. You simply exist, and your very existence disrupts darkness, shifts atmospheres, and reveals what's real. They think you glow for applause, but your glow wasn't bought, borrowed, or copied. It was forged in silence, forged in storms that stripped you bare, forged in nights when no one saw the tears, when betrayal cut deep, when hope flickered but didn't die. You radiate not because life was easy, but because you survived what should have buried you. Imagine coal under pressure. Most would crumble into dust, but under that same pressure, you became a diamond. That's why when you walk into a room, people feel something before they understand it. It's not hype, it's harmony. Your presence is proof, not performance. It's the evidence of what happens when divine alignment meets unbreakable resilience. I remember seasons where I had nothing left but faith, where the applause was gone, the support was silent, and the path ahead was pitch black. But something inside kept burning, a fire that refused to die. That same fire, chosen one, lives in you. It's why you can't be duplicated. It's why no imitation, no counterfeit, no noise can match what you carry, because what you carry was earned in the dark. Look at how they react when you're simply at peace. Some get irritated without reason. Others grow envious when you're not even trying. That's because your alignment is magnetic. It doesn't shout. It doesn't beg. It simply is. In a world addicted to noise, your quiet strength feels like a storm. Your silence convicts. Your stillness threatens their performance. You are not the echo, you are the origin. They can copy your words, mimic your style, even imitate your movements, but they can never replicate the weight of your becoming. Because becoming what you are required, pain most would avoid, endurance most would never choose, and obedience when it didn't make sense. That's why your light burns differently. Chosen one, you are not shining to be seen. You are shining because nothing could kill what heaven ignited in you. The fire within you is not decorative, it is revelatory. It doesn't entertain, it exposes, it doesn't flatter, it refines. And that's why people either rise around you or run from you. There is no middle ground. And here's the prophetic truth. You've entered a season where your light will no longer be hidden behind distractions, insecurities, or other people's comfort. The veil has lifted. The world is about to witness the fire heaven has been tending in secret. Opportunities are going to find you, not because you chase them, but because your frequency is calling them in. Your story is living proof that divine timing never fails. Everything you went through, the betrayals, the isolation, the unseen labor, was heaven's way of refining the flame so that when your moment came, no storm could blow it out. So stand tall, anointed one. This is your season to radiate without apology. You don't need permission to exist in your fullness. You are the evidence. You are the divine signal. And no matter who misunderstands, imitates, or resents it, the fire remains. Because, chosen one, you don't chase the spotlight. You are the fire. And fire cannot be ignored. Chosen one, as this word comes to a close, I want you to take a deep breath and let this truth settle into your spirit. You are not standing in an ordinary moment. You are standing in divine timing. This is your Kairos moment. Heaven has already moved. The supernatural transfer is not coming someday. It is already in motion. The atmosphere around you is shifting. What once felt delayed is aligning with perfect precision. Every step you've taken, every season you've endured, has brought you to this exact point. You are not overlooked. You are positioned. You are not waiting for permission. You are walking in a heavenly appointment. The mantle you carry is weighty, but so is the favor that follows it. So, anointed one, stay grounded in gratitude. Keep your heart aligned. Walk boldly in the authority that's been entrusted to you. Heaven has already stamped your path with victory. What's ahead of you is not fragile, it's fortified. No plot, no whisper, no counterfeit can undo what has been sealed over your life. As you step forward, may divine clarity guide your every move. May supernatural provision locate you with ease. May your presence continue to expose what's false and elevate what's true. You are chosen, covered, and unstoppable. If this message resonated with your spirit, let it echo. Declare it in the comments. Share it with another chosen one who needs to remember their divine weight. This is your moment. Walk in it with holy confidence.